Hi everyone, this is Philip Travis, and welcome to U.S. History, American History, Part 1. In this class, we will be examining the period from the arrival of Europeans, the beginning of the 1500s, through the Civil War period and the Reconstruction era. We'll be looking at some really fascinating subjects, from the initial arrival of Europeans in the Americas following the arrival of Columbus in 1492, through, of course, the colonial experience in North America, to the Revolutionary War, the founding of the country, the creation of the Constitution, the War of 1812, the development of political parties in the United States, the age of Andrew Jackson, the Mexican-American War, the legacy of expansionism in the United States, and of course we'll culminate in this class with a discussion of the American Civil War and the Reconstruction period. This class, I think you will find, is fascinating not only for subject matter, but also for the degree to which this kind of story directly shapes our world today. So, whether it's discussions about the initial arguments over the meanings of the Constitution, which, of course, the founders of this country did not always agree on what the Constitution meant. And sometimes you might, if you're listening to certain personalities here in the 21st century, you might get the understanding that one day in the past, everybody agreed on the Constitution, and that's not true. Actually, the Constitution was an incredibly divisive, controversial development. Some people fought against its ratification, and even after its ratification, individuals within the U.S. government fought vehemently over what powers the Constitution did or did not authorize. So we'll be talking about, the founding of this country, and that's highly significant to discussions today. We'll be talking about the expansion, really beginning in the colonial period, and not only its consequences for people, indigenous people like the Native Americans, of course, but also the role that expansionism played in the development of the United States as first a continental and eventually a world power. Expansionism was, in some ways, something that sowed the seeds for the disputes that were at the heart of the American Civil War, as factions in the North began to push for new territories to be free, and factions in the South began to push for new territories to be slave territories. And so the issue of slave or free and states' rights was also intertwined in the political dispute associated with the expansion of the United States. So there are many, many discussions and topics that we're going to engage in this class that remain very, very relevant to our country today and to the world today. And, I'm hoping that in this class it kind of helps us to think more critically about the United States today, its role as a world power, the functioning of its government, and so forth. My hope is that this class will help us to not only become more knowledgeable about the past of the United States, but also to become more critical thinking citizens about the nature and the development and some of the really important debates and problems that this country's encountered and how it's overcome those over time. And I think if we do that, we'll all leave this class with really, being more knowledgeable, really better citizens, I guess is what I'm saying, is my hope. So anyway, enough of that. This is your welcome announcement here. Please watch all of these announcements. Each week I make an announcement and I fill you in on what's going on during the week. I give you tips and pointers about tests, about papers, about all kinds of things that we're doing in the week. So it's really important. Please watch these announcements. During the class, I'm going to offer extra credit through these announcements. And I'll start offering that next week. So just watch next week's announcement. Watch it at the beginning of the week before Wednesday, and I'll fill you in on this extra credit opportunity that I think you'll find is interesting and also kind of fun, and it gives you bonus points throughout the term, which we all love because it'll help you at the end of the term make sure you have the grade you want to have. So make sure you watch these announcements, and particularly next week, watch the opening announcement so that you see what we're doing, not only in the week 2, but also for this extra credit that I think you guys are really going to kick out of. The class, remember, you see the syllabus, so I'm not going to go through everything on the syllabus here, but the class is broken up into 3 parts. At the end of each section is roughly 5 weeks. At the end of each section, you have an exam. There's 3 exams. There is no cumulative final. Each test deals with the section that we just covered. I give you a study guide for each test, and so make sure you use that study guide as you prepare for the test. There'll be a test at the end again of each section. So there's 3 parts. We have at the end of our first part, which ends week 5, we'll have our first test. In the class, you write 1 paper, but you have 3 options to write 1 paper. And if you write 2 papers, I'll drop your lowest score and we'll only keep your highest score. So if you do the first paper option, then doing a second paper could be, if you didn't do well in the first paper, doing a second paper, taking my feedback, and doing a second paper and getting a better score is a nice way to pull your grade up as well. Each paper is due 1 week after the test. So at the end of part 1, you'll have a test on Sunday at the end of week 5. The end of the next week on Sunday, that first paper will be due if you choose to do it. Remember, you only have to do 1 paper, and you have 3 options. There'll be a paper to be done after the second section ends in the second exam. There'll be a paper that you can do well, it's actually slightly before the end of the third section. That one's a little bit different. Just see the syllabus for the dates on that. But you have 3 opportunities to do it. And there are guidelines that are posted already about the papers in the syllabus, and I'll have more information forthcoming for you on the papers. I basically want you to use 3 academic sources and write a 650 to 700 word paper that makes a historical argument. But as we move forward in the class, I will give you more information on how I want you to go about this, and I'll give you some tips and pointers. Sometimes in the discussion forum, sometimes in emails, sometimes I'll make a specific video about paper writing to help you out. So, be on the lookout for that. I highly recommend that you do either the first or second paper option. Don't leave it till the end of the term. You might get bogged down with other classes and these types of things, and it's really better to get it out of the way early. Remember, make sure you look at the syllabus. The links should all be pretty clear on the web page. If you're at the home page in our class, you just follow the link to the modules area or the syllabus. Remember, just follow the modules week by week. If you just go with the modules week by week, every Sunday during the week I open the new week's modules. So if you just follow along in the modules, make sure you log into the class early. Make sure you're getting into the class, a Monday or Tuesday. Check it out, watch the announcements, and then get prepared to have the assignments maybe finished on a Saturday or a Sunday. You'll be fine. In the discussion forums, make sure you follow the directions. I want to see you active in the discussion forum on 2 separate days. I want to have a discussion here. Remember to be always respectful. But generally, modules is the place to start. You can find really everything in modules. Every assignment will come up in modules. It's a pretty simple way to just follow the course through. Each week, not only do I post announcements like this, which again, you will see there's an extra credit opportunity that is so easy it's ridiculous, that's associated with these announcements. But in addition to that, I also post recorded lectures for you. Each week there will be a lecture on an aspect of the topic that we're discussing. And I do that because I think it helps you learn. I don't want to just give you the textbook, which, by the way, our textbook is the Eric Foner book. It is titled Give Me Liberty. But I don't want you to just take the textbook and just read these and take the test. I like to lecture. I like to teach. That's what I do. That's what I'm trained to do. And so hopefully I want everybody to watch each week's recorded lecture, and it'll be a really nice way to give you a kind of a look at the key information in the reading. It'll enhance the reading. I touch on a lot of the really important items that show up on tests and so forth in those recorded lectures. So make sure you watch those recorded lectures. Sometimes I get a little carried away, they get a little long, but you can put it on and turn the volume up, and while you're doing the laundry or whatever you might be doing, the dishes, as long as you're listening, it's better than nothing. But hopefully everybody will be able to sit down, watch the lecture just like you're in a live classroom, and it'll really help you learn the material, I think. Anyway, take a look at the syllabus, take that syllabus quiz, and get involved in the discussion forum, introduce yourself, and make your first posts and replies to classmates in the discussion forum. Let's have a great term. Email me. I check my email all the time, so email me if you have any questions. But otherwise, I'm Professor Philip Travis, and I look forward to having a great term with you guys.